Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television.
Miss Salon Fambulden, on a couché and cabo. This a message come up from United for Salon in collaboration with Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television, and also from the well body people. Charlie, Taliban. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that attend is for caution. So number one for the wash you on, it's up. Now they touch your nose, now they touch your eyes, and now they touch your mouth. When you sick, now for stay na us. You want cough, now for cover your mouth. You want sneeze, now for cover your nose. Make we help for safe salon. Salon now we on, no place like home. One sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that attend is for caution. Say, one sick don't come with a call corona. Say, ain't okay if you black or you white, it is spread it all over. So mama, papa, let me take the precautions. Not a party business, that
Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. Greetings, fellow Sierra Leonean and viewers beyond the Sierra Leone community. Welcome to Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. I did take a quick break, run some commercial, and I will join in the back shortly with my guest then. And I welcome once again, and some of the commercials then, now some of the things that we'll discuss today. And once again, welcome to Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just run through a few messages when Dr. Blyden is there. Then we'll. Okay, Dr. Blyden.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm here.
We're getting you loud and clear. Now, I was asking, you've highlighted some of the challenges. What would you prefer as recommendations to surmounting these challenges and let us win this fight as a nation?
Well, I would like to clarify some points very quickly.
Go ahead.
First point is that when President Madabio, as then the strongest opposition voice, was invited by President Kuruma all the way from London, and he came in. The very next morning, he came in the night. The very next morning, President Kuruma hosted him at State House. I was then working at State House as special executive assistant to the president. I met the current president at the door of State House. I gave him a hug and I said to him, thank you, brother, for joining this fight. Even though everybody knows I am one of the biggest critics of current president. But I put that one aside and I hugged him at the doorway of State House before he went up to meet my boss at State House. Now, I repeat that we are not talking politics here. We are talking influential voices. Former President Kuruma is a very influential voice. Whether or not he is the chairman and leader of the APC or not, he remains an influential voice. Secondly, he also led, I repeat, it wasn't Paulo Conte who led it. It was President Kuruma who led the fight against Ebola. And he was also the head of state, sitting where President Madabio is now seated. There is a lot that President Madabio can learn from President Kuruma. And I want to assure my brother in the studio that I am not lying here. I'm saying it with authority. In fact, one of the few times that President Kuruma has got upset with me recently was when I was arguing with him that, is it possible that you have called President Bio and he received so many phone calls that your number disappeared from his phone? And then he demonstrated to me that indeed he has been calling. And that's why I'm saying it, that it is with authority that I am saying it here live on the TV, that the former president has been reaching out to the current president several times to discuss how he can help in the Ebola to stop the Ebola fight. And his calls have been snubbed. This is with authority. Secondly, I'm not talking about liking. I'm talking about trust. You see, my brother there is was one of our best journalists before, and he knows that journalism is all about trust. Messaging is all about trust. If you do not trust the person who is talking to you, you are going to believe these stories about when they say, oh, there is a 5G, there is no corona, it is a 5G communication network that they are setting up. It is all a matter of trust. If you do not trust the person, doesn't mean you don't like the person. You can like the person, but you don't trust the person's messaging. So you have to now bring in everybody who you know can be trusted by a chunk of the society to come on board. That's my messaging. Then finally, please, 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 Honorable Rado, there is no such thing as almost a medical doctor. No such thing. You're either a medical doctor, like Dr. Sylvia Olenka Blyden is a medical doctor, or you are not a medical doctor. Dr. Alfawu lectured me in medical school. He lectured me chemistry. He's a chemist, full stop. What we have here is a medical emergency. It's not just Ministry of Health management issues. There should be somebody with a medical background in this mix. What I am seeing now, the head of state, the head of the Ebola response, and the Minister of Health, none of them are medical people. And so that's why we are having a lot of these blunders that they are making. For example, why are they hiding the identities of patients of coronavirus? It's unconscionable, it's unforgivable. Because by hiding the identities of corona patients, you are hindering yourself. You are making it impossible to do proper contact tracing. Because some of these people, they will not remember all of who and whom they recently contacted. But if you announce the names and who they are, it helps for the community to bring forward names. For example, if someone, let's be frank here, somebody could be a married man and he has a girlfriend somewhere, he doesn't want to state that girlfriend's name. But the girlfriend would know, or someone connected to the girlfriend would know, who would now mention that name and help the contact tracing process. Why are they hiding the identities of these people? They are hindering us in this battle. We need to know who are these people, where are they, and let me use this opportunity, please, Samuel, to ask the Minister of Information. They have to treat some of us like we're intelligent people. They put out an information that there are 6 corona patients, but only 5 are being treated. Where is the one person? Can he please tell this nation who is that one person? And why is that one person not being treated? It's critical. This is a question on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone because we are worried. We don't know who these people are. Could be my next door neighbor. I don't know. So they need to be more open to us. They need to be more transparent with us. These are critical points. Now, the last thing I want to point out here is this aspect, in reaction to my brother in the studio, is this aspect of saying we won't call on someone to come, you have to come. No, I don't think you are doing the correct thing. People, for example, I did not even know where the EOC center is. I'm a medical doctor. I did not even know where the EOC center is. You can imagine ordinary people. You are telling them, oh, we are not going to invite you, come on board. You have to reach out. Please, SLPP-led government, reach out and let us fight this battle together. That would be my point. Any other question now?
Dr. Blyden, before letting you go, are there names you...
I'm not going. I'm here. We're here for 2 hours. I'm definitely not going. I'm just saying
just before
this was the reaction to the points. Now,
before we let you rest, we'll definitely come back to you.
I'm not going. I'm here.
Okay, are there names already in terms of those who you think should have been called upon to lead the fight against this virus?
No, I think we have a wonderful leader now in the person of His Excellency Dr. Julius Maada Bio. I cannot fault him in terms of leading this battle. He has been leading the battle well. So I'm not going to say we need someone else to lead. He is doing an amazing job leading. but he is shortchanging the battle by not bringing more people on board and by refusing to pick up the phone call of his predecessor. So to say I want another leader, no. I like my leader, I like my president. Let him continue doing the job that he's doing for us. He has been doing a fantastic job, as limited as he is, that he's not medical, not medically inclined. I don't believe he has an iota of knowledge of medicine, but he has been doing well. But he has to bring more people on board, and he seriously has to consider that whoever is the coordinator, if I was the president of Sierra Leone, my instant choice would have been Brigadier General Fodisa. I would not even think, I would not even blink. He would have instantly been put in charge of this fighting the corona response. It would not have been Kelly Ponte, no way. I would have brought in Brigadier Safode or any of the other professional doctors, but Safode particularly, because he's a virologist. He's a virology medical doctor. So I think he needs to bring the medical people on board. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a member of the SLMDA. I speak to my colleagues. They are not happy. They are not happy. There is so much being done that should not be done. There is so much that needs to be done that has not yet been done.
And what are those things?
There needs to be a medical leadership in this fight. There is no medical leadership in this fight, I'm sorry to say. There needs to be a medical perspective at the top hierarchy of this fight. The president needs to consider that. Yes, Dr. Wuri lectured me, he was one of my best lecturers. He's very good in chemistry. That's it, chemistry. Brigadier Kelly Conte is good at fighting wars. So there's, yes. But for God's sake, bring on board a medical doctor to help you.
All right. That's a very good call.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just run through a few messages when Dr. Blyden is there. Then we'll... Okay. Dr. Blyden.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm here.
We're getting you loud and clear. Now, I was asking, you've highlighted some of the challenges. What would you prefer as recommendations to surmounting these challenges and let us win this fight as a nation?
Well, I would like to clarify some points very quickly.
Go ahead.
First point is that when President Madabio, as then the strongest opposition voice, was invited by President Kuruma all the way from London, and he came in. The very next morning, he came in the night. The very next morning, President Kuruma hosted him at State House. I was then working at State House as special executive assistant to the president. I met the current president at the door of State House. I gave him a hug and I said to him, thank you, brother, for joining this fight. Even though everybody knows I am one of the biggest critics of current president. But I put that one aside and I hugged him at the doorway of State House before he went up to meet my boss at State House. Now, I repeat that we are not talking politics here. We are talking influential voices. Former President Kuruma is a very influential voice. Whether or not he is the chairman and leader of the APC or not, he remains an influential voice. Secondly, he also led, I repeat, it wasn't Paulo Conte who led it. It was President Kuruma who led the fight against Ebola. And he was also the head of state, sitting where President Madabio is now seated. There is a lot that President Madabio...
So that's very, very key. But notwithstanding that, this government is very systematic, and we've managed the resources we have to the extent things are not worse as one want to see it.
Okay.
You understand?
But they are worse than they were before.
No, they are challenging. I mean, the price rise is not a new phenomenon in this country.
Yeah, it's not a new phenomenon, but there is high inflation where people are now speculating that we will soon get to a hyperinflation situation.
No, maybe it's the concept of it. Let me just, I don't want to doubt your ignorance, but let me just say something.
I beg your pardon?
No, I don't want to say your ignorance of the situation.
So, okay, what is the current inflation
That's
rate?
correct. That's what I was talking about 16%.
About 16%.
2017 inflation is 17.5%.
Okay. So how much is the dollar now to the leon? How much now is the dollar to the leon?
No, the dollar, no, I'm coming to the dollar issue.
Yes, and that's my question.
No, the question...
Since I'm quite ignorant, how much is the dollar to the leon?
No, the issue was about inflation rate.
Yes.
The inflation rate as of now, is basically the same as the inflation rate a year back.
Okay, but my question now is the inflation a year ago and now is still the same. How much is the dollar to the leon?
The dollar has depreciated.
Okay.
The dollar has depreciated by about 15%. It has depreciated. And the cause of the depreciation is related to both the import and the export. There are two. You need foreign exchange inflows. You need foreign exchange. You have foreign exchange outflows. Where do you get the inflows from? You get the inflows one from your export. Where do you get your export? Traditionally, we've been getting most of our export for the mining sector. Iron ore being one. Diamonds and other things. Now, three variables at play. First, two major iron ore companies were closed even before we came, and we've not been able to get them restarted. The reason that some of those people who bought those concessions do not have capital. It's like somebody blocks your house and takes the key away.
Jacob, a quick question, which is very straightforward. No, how much is the leon to the dollar as we speak?
It's over 9,000. Very close to 1,000. Is it 10,000?
Do you know that 1 million leons now, and in some places you get it for over 1 million leons to $100.
I don't think anybody disputes anything here.
So when you say inflation hasn't really changed and the exchange rate has jumped from when it used to be about 7,000, 8,000 something to now 1 million plus something.
Madam, inflation is not depreciation. I don't understand this. They're not the same. Economics 101 does not teach you anybody that.
Okay.
Depreciation is different from inflation.
But you would say that plays a major part, that has an impact on inflation.
That is what I'm building up. That's what I'm trying to build. Just give me a chance.
Okay.
The linkage between so that's very, very key. But notwithstanding that, this government is very systematic and we've managed the resources we have. To the extent things are not worse as one we want to see it. You understand?
But they are worse than they were before.
No, they are challenging. I mean, the price rise is not a new phenomenon in this country.
Yeah, it's not a new phenomenon, but there is high inflation where people are now speculating that we will soon get to a hyperinflation situation.
No, maybe it's the concept of it. Let me just, I don't want to doubt your ignorance, but let me just say something.
I beg your pardon?
No, I don't want to say your ignorance of the situation.
So, okay, what is the current inflation
rate? That's correct. That's the what I was talking about 16%.
About 16%.
2017 inflation is 17.5%.
Okay. So how much is the dollar now to the leon? How much now is the dollar to the leon?
No, the dollar, no, I'm coming to the dollar issue.
Yes, and that's my question.
No, the question...
Since I'm quite ignorant, how much is the dollar to the leon?
No, the issue was about inflation rate.
Yes.
The inflation rate as of now, is basically the same as the inflation rate a year back.
Okay, but my question now is the inflation a year ago and now is still the same. How much is the dollar to the leon?
The dollar has depreciated.
Okay.
The dollar has depreciated by about 15%. It has depreciated. And the cause of the depreciation is related to both the import and the export. There are two. You need foreign exchange inflows. You need foreign exchange. You have foreign exchange outflows. Where do you get the inflows from? You get the inflows one from your export. Where do you get your export? Traditionally, we've been getting most of our export for the mining sector. Iron ore being one. Diamonds and other things. Now, three variables at play. First, two major iron ore companies were closed even before we came, and we've not been able to get them restarted. The reason that some of those people who bought those concessions do not have capital. It's like somebody blocks your house and takes the key away.
Jacob, a quick question, which is very straightforward. No, how much is the leon to the dollar as we speak?
It's over 9,000. Very close to 1,000. Is it 10,000?
Do you know that 1 million leons now, and in some places you get it for over 1 million leons to $100.
I don't think anybody disputes anything here.
So when you say inflation hasn't really changed and the exchange rate has jumped from when it used to be about 7,000, 8,000 something to now 1 million plus something.
Madam, inflation is not depreciation. I don't understand this. They're not the same. Economics 101 does not teach you anybody that.
Okay.
Depreciation is different from inflation.
But you would say that plays a major part, that has an impact on inflation.
That is what I'm building up. That's what I'm trying to build. Just give me a chance.
Okay.
The linkage between so that's very, very key. But notwithstanding that, this government is very systematic and we've managed the resources we have to the extent things are not worse as one would want to see it.
Yeah.
You understand?
But they are worse than they were before.
No, they are challenging. I mean, the price rise is not a new phenomenon in this country.
Yeah, it's not a new phenomenon, but there is high inflation where people are now speculating that we will soon get to a hyperinflation situation.
No, maybe it's the concept of it. Let me just, I don't want to doubt your ignorance, but let me just say something.
I beg your pardon?
No, I don't want to say your ignorance of the situation.
So, okay, what is the current inflation
That's
rate?
correct. That's the problem I was talking about 16%.
About 16%.
2017 inflation is 17.5%.
Okay. So how much is the dollar now to the leone? How much now is the dollar to the leone?
No, the dollar, no, I'm coming to the dollar issue.
Yes, and that's my question.
No, the question...
Since I'm quite ignorant, how much is the dollar to the leone?
No, the issue was about inflation rate.
Yes.
The inflation rate as of now, is basically the same as the inflation rate a year back.
Okay, but my question now is the inflation a year ago and now is still the same. How much is the dollar to the leone?
The dollar has depreciated.
Okay.
The dollar has depreciated by about 15%. It has depreciated. And the cause of the depreciation is related to both the import and the export. There are two. You need foreign exchange inflows. You need foreign exchange. You have foreign exchange outflows. Where do you get the inflows from? You get the inflows, one, from your export. Where do you get your export? Traditionally, we've been getting much of our export for the mining sector. Iron ore being one. Diamonds and other things. Now, three variables at play. First, two major iron ore companies were closed even before we came, and we've not been able to get them restarted. The reason that some of those people who bought those concessions do not have capital. It's like somebody blocks your house and takes the key away.
Jacob, a quick question, which is very straightforward. No, how much is the leones to the dollar as we speak?
It's over 9,000, very close to 1,000. That's all. Is it 10,000?
See, all of the sudden, this Ralotwe SLPP panel this morning, they move in great number, then go now in host. They say that we don't want to follow a join in our SLPP. We not agree. So today they can't for pay on the debt because of not agree for join then a join NGC. All of the sudden, they beat on, they damage some part of nine host. People then can in great number and able rescue self pass a call na Tongo. The police they can't rescue and they don't get a medical. Now they don't come back na Kenemara. A call we will go before round we turn that we don't count her. A day we twin at the district office now, but we don't they try for get onto the district chairman. We're not able to get her yet. Now a day we twin na office here a masterly damage in head, the wound down inside the outside the knock and we stick. For let even tina for long for talking not go able a day with you now. So these are the done for the notice of the national secretariat. I get this video for like I sent to now let una know say now so the situation they find ourselves inside na Kenema district as for now with security not in any good hand except now the secretariats that will not get for intervene for we the members of the NGC. All of the sudden the threat way they come out now, they say even the 27 they're ready for can damagery, they're ready for damage any NGC member because we not be vote for them, we vote for SLPP. So this line are the threats now where they go on. So we appeal to one and the national secretariat for Leona able step in. And this woman a case a very tedious. We don't count in our office to win a Kenema. Yeah. So that's nine the way to say this now for Leona know now the national secretariat for say now so we people then they go and beat them now the surrounding villages them. Either Agnes Fode, one some aspirant councillor now what 14 when constituency 14 ward 40. Okay, go.
Nina aspirants for NGC na Gion as a councillor. and be don dey throughout the people of the town, dem be don dey hate me because of the hard work wey I been dey do everything. Some people dem be don get me na mind. Some dem dey say na go na the other party, that say I no dey do am, I dey NGC. So yesterday me pikin go na exercise.
Say SLPP, dem say let you go SLPP.
Dem say na go SLPP, I say no. I say I dey NGC. I say I no dey declare for no party yet. I say until I heard from the leader. So yesterday me own pikin go na exercise. Dem begin go tell her say that mama dey we aim for na any pikin can tell me. Well go now I said one day what dem talk now. I said dem go sabi me. Now they came me name go to the section chief say dem say me don cause. Me don cause section chief no be dey came. This morning he send call me, but he meet me already for go wash. As I wan go wash, I say I dey calm. As I wan go wash, dem no wait for me. Now see the group. Now see group of people that they can woman dem, man dem, some dem hold stick, dem hold leaf, dem hold all kinds things. But me no be no say na for me dem dey calm. Now dem calm and me domot, some dem begin send the leaf, dem draw me man no bin dey around. Me pikin dem say no bin dey, pass the girl pikin wey bin dey with me. Dem hold me on, dem beat me, dem knock me with stick. Right now look me head, the damage, me head damage. I dey feel am, I dey feel pain on me head, me back.
Greetings once again. In a thank you for in a patience. As in a see, we've been to play some video them where get some commercials then basically when some of the things that we discussed today about the disadvantage then where we as women then get as in I know the flyer specifically say that we they get the wonderful Mr. Massally with 3 weddings and patiently they wait for now gets him back on board and in the place of Mr. Honorable Ambassador Felix Koma. As we know, sometimes the situation can they beyond we own control. So we get a decide for bring a civil society activist where it go take in place in the meantime, and if time permit time, it go come and join we. Having said that, I want to take this opportunity for say plenty thank you to again I can say after God na make Salon for All, Voice for All network television. And today, as I sit on now, so I want to take this opportunity also for say plenty thank you to 2 of me wonderful fans them. Of course, one way they reside in the United Kingdom and one way they here in the USA, where they decide for surprise me for basically show say they appreciate the work what they do. So I decide say with the surprise what they send me, I go use that fun day for put me outfit them together. So most of it was from the generosity of them 2 people there. So as they know and I mentioned them, I appreciating us so much. My mommy can always say this world, just who you are, whosoever you go, you will get mama, you will get papa, you will get brother, you will get sister, so on and so forth. And I can always say as long as the heart is clean, the intention good, always gotta find a way for how you call them for make way for you. Having said that, I want to take this opportunity. So that was under community announcement. Once again, plenty thank you for your endless support to Salon for All. As in I know this platform is for everybody, irrespective of your political affiliation, you tribe, whatever it is. It's a place where we all come, we join voice for see that we discuss issues of relevance having to do with we beloved Mama Salon. Having said that, like I say, I get 2 fine gentlemen then with me today. One of which way I want to just speak on from my heart. When Mr. Massally, where I've been get the opportunity for meet during the Ebola epidemic, where it been travel from Salon in Canada, America, where we happen to be some of the community activists. We all, as concerned Sierra Leonean, we join voice, we march the streets of New York City, and we also go to the United Nations, wherein we'll be used with voice for ask for international help, for them to help with country during the Ebola epidemic. A man where I would describe as someone who gets an unassumed persona. It could be an understatement. Is very humble, very gentle, very kind, the epitome of way they would say it grow hold gracefully. One who I would describe as a salt and pepper look, very handsome from the inside out. All this they come up from a great place. Like I can always say, the very first impression goes a long way, and regardless of in qualifications them or the position the way they hold, the very first time I meet this man, we basically in a joint voice with the rest of all the Sierra Leoneans them, with the late Mr. Fode Mansare, may his soul rest in peace, where himself have been very strong activist, ambassador Fode Mansare, where himself fight so much for the betterment of Salon. Having said that, it is an honor and a pleasure to have with me tonight Mr. Massally and with civil society activists, where both of them I will bring in for net and joint voice with we learn into today's topic, and not go only limited to the woman the what's in the flyers say. We also get sub topic them we'll get for discuss as well. Once again, I thank you, and I thank you for your patience, and I did bring we guest them right now. Welcome. And I welcome once again the wonderful Mr. Massally and Mr. Werese. And I thank you for your time and your patience. I should say that the Yerimina well, eh? Mm-hmm. Wonderful, yes. Wonderful. So, I mean, just to give a big background of how, please, I don't know how what side for even starts when it comes to you, the person that you are. You leave an everlasting positive impression of yourself when I didn't get the opportunity for meet you when we all been the joint voice for the betterment of Salon during the Ebola epidemic. But who can best describe you as yourself? So I want to pause here and give you the opportunity for you come and introduce yourself, sir. Welcome once again.
Well, thank you. Amadu Massally. And I don't really have much to say for introduce myself. I feel like for consider myself like somebody with a national activist for development or activist for national development in Sierra Leone. I get myself involved in quite a bit of things in governance. I can make noise day in tourism, especially heritage tourism, everything I'm thinking. So, and I mean, I'm involved in many different spheres of our Sierra Leonean lives. And I get hope for the country. Say before we die, we will see positive change in us alone.
God willing.
Yeah.
God willing. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for honoring the invitation. And make I bring Mr. Werese with me as well. Now introduce himself. Welcome, Mr. Werese.
Thank you very much, Khadija. And thank you for bringing the program today again. Sorry that I've been here for left the program the last time abruptly. I hope say we'll get a good discussion with the short term I get right now.
Absolutely.
Of course, Sierra Leone most times are not keen need for introduce myself, especially when they come why they deal with the Sierra Leonean community, because a lot of people know me based on waiting I don't do the organization I've been run as Sierra Leone before I left. So of course me as a civil rights activist, I remain a civil rights activist, and I continue for CCA, NSI way, I know for add my voice, for make a call, for contribute, for ensure say we bring back Sierra Leone to a democratic path. I will always select for do that one day, which is why I did a program today.
Welcome once again. So basically, I write something down where I don't forget, so I'm just going to read it through before we learn with today's discussion. So, like I said, let's learn with today's topic. The real issue is empowerment, equality in treatment, and equal opportunities that seems to be in a short supply for women. Especially as a country, we have come a long way, but there is way to go before we will see any meaningful development in that direction. Time and time again, I have repeated the brilliant quote from Mr. Desmond Tutu, which suggested that if we're going to see real developments in the world, then our best investment is in women. Let us start reviewing the laws, followed by robust compliance. Too many areas to highlight, from domestic violence to corporate underrepresentation. We need more impartial, civil liberty organization and astute successive leadership for status. Example, it was only recently during the last government led by Dr. Ines Baikoma when the law on citizenship was amended that gave Sierra Leonean women kids rights to Sierra Leone citizenship even if their father were non-Sierra Leoneans. That alone is worth $1 million. Allow me to further explain the law in detail. It means single women with kids whose father are foreign can be voted for on properties occupied, appointed office, and the list goes on. As a result, mothers were able to gain the confidence that their kids are no longer disfranchised, in societal terms, just because of gender, birth, occurrence, none of whom are responsible. The fact remains the fact, meaning of referring to successive governments have been using the Public Act of 1965 to oppress journalists even before the emergence of social media, and now it's becoming mainstream media. Governments want to police the internet. As such, the oppressive force has been extended to anyone exercising freedom of speech, in the example of Dr. Sylvia Olanka Blyden on this current administration. And if we were to dig into the then administration, we can also recall an event of a young woman, a young lady by the name of Teresa. So basically, I can go on and on and on. I wonder we start off with that first. Like basically, not only we go like I said, this is not just the main topic today about women as a whole, but we also get subtopic that we want to discuss. So I'm bringing her back in, waiting in our own take as to the improvements we will make from when we gain independence to where we are at the present moment. In the case of, like I say, Dr. Sylvia Olanka Blyden, I can also name the two female journalists with the Stadion saga, and the list goes on and on and on. So make I bring you first and pause here. Now bring you Mr. Massally on you take on that one. And then we'll bring with civil society activists.
Sure. Yes. I wonder how much women there is at parliament today, because those are the areas where you can measure these types of things. I remember under the Nkrumah government, I think it's with this 30%. Well, before I get to that, Sierra Leone itself is a patriarchal society where man feels the demand for woman is subservient. Over the years, that's been the case. It forced government somewhat to create a regulation that said 30% of jobs then, or women get 30% space in the workforce, for example, including government. I'm not too sure what the specific law says, but I know that's 30% reserved for women. And the last one we checked, I think this current parliament gets about 14% women. Even though they talk say yes, we want to give women their empowerment, we pay more lip service to them than we actually do. Remember one time in America, so I got a program still this one, I was on the radio that DJ Basin show. So I had said something that women and men are equal. See, in America, for example, there are still gaps, but it's a lot closer than it is in Sierra Leone. So I made that comment, say, woman and man, they're equal. Now, DJ based in radio show years ago. So one time, caller, then we come back, he tell me, say, me, sir, we talk that word, they may not believe that. So me, when they say man and woman equal, me, sir, we talk, I will not believe that as a man. So that goes to show the type of in-depth, thinking that we have as men in Sierra Leone. But also the women. I have another example. The women also sometimes, they don't push hard enough. I remember one time they talk a lot about women empowerment. In fact, I still do. But it's a very senior lady, educated woman, where they tell me, say, I wonder what's in your ulterior motive now, because I was, big enough woman there. I'm like, wow. So anyway, it works on both sides. But up to today, we're not really rich. I mean, it's more lip service than reality. More from men, but also the women need to support some. I appreciate women like Sidra, but I didn't even show the name earlier. Uma Alexander, I really appreciate her because of me also see that talk. Most of the time they talk for other people first. And for me, that's how I measure people in governance or in national development. Is this person talking on behalf of the majority of the long suffering masses of our people or not? So let us pass on to the civil society man who's on the talk there. I mean, I just pants up.
Yes, Mr. Werisi, welcome back. And as I say, you now your departments down there, you don't they work for the betterment of we, for now we get equality, or at least now we get close to in terms of all what's the benefits as man and the disadvantage we they face. So come in, sir, and give your take on it.
Thank you very much. And of course, let us say hi to Mr. Amadu Massally. We don't meet several times, but I think this is now the most interactive meeting the way me and don't get. I think say it comes from a very good background where you bring in Dr. Blyden in issue. But before we go to that one, let me underscore the fact say Sierra Leone now a signatory to one of the most outstanding international laws then when it comes to human rights and civil liberties, including the empowerment of women. Sierra Leone don't sign to this between 2008 and 2011, where to this point, I think Sierra Leone, I don't know what the latest report we don't send to the human rights body, Geneva, but during President Nkrumah in time, we've been on meet over 60 of the 120 criteria then we get for do with them international civil liberties and civil rights them where people them generally get, including freedom of association, assembly, rights to, you understand, those basic fundamental human rights, including empowerment of women then. So now let me not take off. In a sense, at political party level, even though the politician not been agreed for put them na the lawyers of a person into law say women forget 30% na every sector, but at political party level, we see in the last elections, who say women them, they take space, we make their representation at parliament be increased, small we increase, how it is so. Especially when it comes to local council, you find out say a good number, I think close to 50%, 50-something% of local council representation, now be woman them. I think this has been a marker, you understand, when it comes to how people then they push for we empower women then and for we empower people who are vulnerable, the disabled and the youth them, now we democratic dispensation. Coming to Dr. Sylvia Blyden, now one of the people for me as Sierra Leone, despite what you think or what you have to think about we bring come a lot of discussion, now the political play from the perspective of women then, how women then for able to stand out, waiting for being stance in society, how they for come out for able for talk, waiting and feel for talk, waiting and feel for say, and I think so when it comes to the restriction around in freedom of expression, it gets serious implication, Khadija. I will discuss that one as we go forward, but it gets serious implication as to how women will continue for fend their voice when it comes to how they discuss politics, when it comes to how they will able for participate in the political sphere, when it comes to how they will able for equate themselves, like Mr. Massally didn't say, for equate themselves with the man them when it comes to national development. You know, because we don't think say past you come politics now, they know you go for contribute to national development, but even with domestic affairs, how the host will manage, whose voice the woman and gets now host, whose voice the woman and get now community for ensure say development happen. Then self, you know, then thing themselves can contribute to how woman then going to grow wake up to the democratic dispensation. We organization Democracy Sierra Leone, now organization in the last election where they go a long way for ensure say woman the able of fairness self now a place who say not just for can't map my politics or can't map my political platform and talk, but even then community, because you find out say one part with survey, one part with investigation we will do now that Mr. Massally travel point that one day out, and it's very interesting, you know, because it just they find them with waiting, they don't find out. The woman then believes say they don't left there so much that they believe say that the woman man never tell you say go participate by this community talk when they talk about for let the pikin and go school. You understand? Let school the school buildings map, let the water well. You understand? If the man not come for can't tell them say go to map and talk now that barrier, they never talk. So we try that we program the what we do in with support from the United States of America. We try for make the woman to understand say with or without the man then get right for come and come. Yes, they make the man a blessing. Trust me. You know, based on we culture, based on we tradition, they need the man a blessing. But yes, then get that right for people to come can discuss how do they build our well. Because mostly now woman and go for the get married well. How do they build the school? Because mostly now woman and go for the left the beginning. Now morning, most of the man and don't go by the office work, they don't go by the farm work, and the woman and the community for a short say the people ever attend that school. So they get every right. So that this now program the way we don't take, you know, so some very, very serious height when it come to political discussion. I remember in 2007, 2012, prior to the elections, we hold a program with the National Democratic Institute. We shall call all the political parties them, but then they can sit down, talk with the woman them, discuss what's the problem, and sign undertaking say then go allow the woman them. How? No violence we no go see against woman them, especially during this election. Now they will make a very, very serious impact when it comes to how women they participate, because what it do, it bring confidence to the woman and say, okay, the political party they no go sign at civil society level, say they no go ever make violence when it come to elections, because we the woman and they we vulnerable, the disabled and they vulnerable, the youth and they vulnerable. So I mean this now the kind of discussion we think say we need for continue it as we look at reviewing the constitution, as we look at implementing the international laws that we get for make we gain at the standard beside other democratic countries around the world.
Wonderful. So when you look back now from the efforts where you don't make as a civil society activist, right? For give women them that type of opportunity, for let them feel belong, for let them feel like they are not only limited to kitchen or domestic duties. And then now fast forward back to where we at now. What are you thought about that? You feel say there was any success story in terms of what you been try for achieve, or we still not get to where you go hope for now we get to?
I must tell you, Khadija and Mr. Massally releasing, there is a serious setback. You know, in a sense, the setback make we call them a cause for concern, because if you administer a system, you then a government, and we already say a particular woman because of the political affiliation, people raise violence for them, we party laws, then gang rape them. You know, they talk about the mommy Aisata na Kailawan. We don't see government or anybody launch any investigation for ensure say people can be brought to justice. You know, for ensure say first of all for establish say that woman they what do would I offend for making participate in politics? Why make therefore go create violence for them, cause violence for them? If we see a situation who say anything that will happen, no investigation will happen, no report will come out, it make the woman then begin, and not see the woman in that area, they will begin fail. Say, hold on. Me, I never go and the politics, so because until which party not there tomorrow, Mr. and I said they will do me the how they do that woman day. You understand? Why may they not do that one day to other man them? You know, because of the political belief. And because this person then believes in a woman, she's vulnerable, now that made them do unto them. You get Dr. Sylvia Blyden, where we don't see for no reason, under what you mean know about the rule of law, you know, and freedom of expression, you hold them, keep on a cell for over 20 something days without proper trial, without proper charge, and for nothing. What did they do? You scare other women then. You understand? You scared away other women then for able to come at the political limelight because they will look and say, hold on, if this government not tomorrow, who said they will begin, you know, ransack with them, will begin harass you the same way we did that. So it is shrink that space for women then for get involved in politics. So for me, I think saying a reversal and a setback, I think saying we're going to find together as a country, as a people, we're going to find a way for addressing the issue and urgently.
Thank you. I believe say many Sierra Leoneans go agree with you in terms of the comparison where you make about the 30% from the then government. If I can name few people like Minister Aissata Kabia, Dr. Sylvia Olainka Blyden, Miss what's her name? Madam Bangura, Zainab Bangura, Miss Elizabeth Mance, Miss Diana Konomali. There was a lot of females them where them get the opportunity for say themselves all sensitive and prestige position. So I bring back Mr. Massally. You happen to be one of the fine gentlemen that we've been getting the opportunity for work with that government today, the president. When you what's in your own take on that? What do you see in terms of the effort of the then president when it comes to empowering women?
I actually missed part of the questions because you know sometimes there's some kind of blurry sound and I lose your voice, so I didn't get all of the questions.
Okay, no problem. Yes, sure. I say you happen for be one of the people that were able to work with the then president. So when we talk about women empowerment, what do you feel say it do? What in an effort where it make for I call it improve in that area when it comes to empowering women them?
Well, quite honestly, I didn't follow that during his administration. I do know that it was under his administration that we, signed this 30% kind of regulation. I also, but even with incidentally, I had observed that women are still, even with the 30%, that was still, underserved. Again, I go to parliament. If a government in big kind of leaders, so they go for sure and lead them by example. Parliament's been probably a little better than what it is now. Now we have 15 women in parliament out of 112 seats, not counting paramount chiefs. So that's about what? 15 out of 112, 14%. Okay. So similarly with this program, maybe have been 17, 16%. I don't remember again, but it wasn't anything to write home about either. Even though I give him kudos that it was under his administration that this thing came into existence, was again, we have not lived it. It's just like many other things in Sierra Leone, daily service to, I can tell you about many projects I've been involved in that never got completed, So, the lead side now need to change a little bit more. But I also think, say, women, them, for do more for themselves, than for Then for rally around other women, then like Sylvia, for example, Sylvia is a different brand of woman because you know this woman where they confront the whole government. Also, Sylvia, even when she was with APC, she used to chastise and hold within APC people that are accountable. So she's a different breed. I have a lot of respect for her. But when woman is didn't come and I don't say it seems like an issue there. We don't call it spade. As we love her, sometimes we have issues. However, woman then never forget choice banana because they see how they treat women already. So we always will come together and rally around strong women and give them more support in the best interest of womanhood and every country. Because I believe say the more women that we see inside governance because of the motherly nature, I really believe say we will see better leadership in our country than not just Sierra Leone but Africa in general.
Strongly agree with you. Mr. Where you say you want to come back in, sir?
Yeah, I think so, he touched on a very good point where he talk about women themselves rally around other women than we don't come before. That is very critical. If we're not able to talk for ourselves, like you say, the man's best servant is himself. You know, if we're not talk for ourselves, who that will talk for us? But again, what you will never forget now that when them kind of happen to a woman, it will be the concern not only for women, then it will be the concern everybody where one see democracy they thrive. Make I tell you what you make Khadija important for the woman then mix on the political play, you know, or any other development because research you don't find out say when it comes to corruption, women are far less corrupt than the man them. Women are far less corrupt than the man them. So the one day now one particular reason we make you want for bring women and come na the political fray. I don't think say you get anything we could do for women right now, even if you say 50-50, we go take away or we go just erase the kind of horrible thing that will not happen to women in the past. You understand? Even if you say 50-50, you still get plenty challenges then but women will continue for face, women will continue for because women in our society among the vulnerable group, now they not get money compared to the man them. So you want for bring and come for another reason because you want for empower them, you want for raise their status of society, you want for ensure say they get that kind of respectability. Mr. Massally talk about a program where they participate in where somebody calls and you say when they talk one day, you not believe in what you say. You know that now and the prejudice where people them, especially we the man them, get over the woman and say, oh, now they're for the again. Therefore, always wait for we. They don't get need for come before. They don't get any reason for come before. No, I think say that one is very, very wrong. And with Dr. Silva Daddy specifically, me I call them a resistance because if a government come say you want for silence opposition, you supposed to get people away able for resist that one day. Why I say resist? Not to forget to map and cause violence against government or cause violence. No, it's a very good form of resistance. If you say that not talk because I criticize you, sorry, I will find way for friendly voice. I will talk anyhow when we feel say I not offend the law. And today they not prove and say they don't offend the law by in talk the way talk. Otherwise, therefore don't take and charge them, pass verdict in the court because they don't deal with this issue for over a month now. But because they don't get anything fundamental, anything strong for say now this because when I lie them, but because if they criticize government, they think say therefore arrest them, therefore keep her in detention, and because they don't say, oh, this is not that man and then I will for talk. Go to a particular person that the present government has do, like Lawrence Lima. Now man, waiting the way not talk in that last government. This government, waiting the way in order, like Lawrence Lima. Now, one of the biggest inciters then, where it come to Sierra Leone, he don't record order for let them shoot somebody right now in gate. Government not for the one day. The resident minister, North, where they just done in state, he don't record where he tell the world sorry, the people them at that part in the country say anybody come on and do for good protest. That means for good exercise their right. Then we shoot her on site. You left that kind of person, not just reinstate them, you not even bring camp investigation around them. Then a woman, because she exercising right to freedom of expression, you think say you normally talk, let not criticize you. And that make me the whole thing about President Mara being one for this government one for repeal the POA, the Public Order Act, the Nepanam, cabinet. It's a facade. It's all fake. Because for me, when you want to do something, you begin practice that thing first. You allow space for women them, for youth them, for civil society them, for them for say people all over, for them for say waiting and feel for say freely. But no, it's not happening in this case. We don't see any sign of that. Anybody where get small name as Sierra Leone now, as we talk to the non-put over, look like people have checked this check me their arrest right now. Oh, now it cause of violence. You understand? Check with him. I think I don't miss that name this small.
Check Umar.
Okay, check Umar. Very good.
Yes.
You understand? Oh, now inside people them. Come on. Why do you not go put this person tell this person in a court? Say look what you do for insight. But no, as you get small name as Sierra Leone, now what it happen? You go mistake talk something, then they arrest you. Then you say, ironically, I want for repeal the Public Order Act. Guess what they do when they say want for repeal the Public Order Act? They now will create some kind of law where a journalist go talk something against any government or any possibly in a higher position, then they find some serious fine where they know say you don't go for pay, then they stop you. When they don't for pay, then they stop you from ever contributing. Now they don't go say and that law they you forget degree. How do they get degree for let you go practice if you want for express? You understand? So all this now I think the way they go for most school, you understand? People the freedom for expression. So then tell you say, oh, we repeal the Public Order Act. It's a facade. And I think so that I make a start by saying the trend where they go on and say the world is some. And some of we will not go hide the voice, we'll continue to talk about I don't care what you call me, I don't care how you call me. Mr. Massally start to talk about that. And for me, I think that truly way some of we they talk. Now in the offend people and say in the last administration, team then we don't begin pick up. We don't take off as a country. We don't take off. All was not right. A lot of mistakes don't happen. A lot of things don't happen. We challenge, we bad, but we were making progress gradually. In a democracy, it never happen overnight. But when I don't go back, we say when I don't come out. When I wrong for me. As when I go, for example, at party level, at stakeholder level, they not become lawyer, but we don't begin to see a practice of the 30%. So when this government can, what do they expect? Because government are continuity. First of all, cannot begin to look at this law where they create 30% for women in a government man. You understand? Now in our governance. But if we not improve, we go back to arrest women, beat women, rape women, just because of the political belief, just because then get they say what they feel for say. I think say now a backward trend, and you don't find for any democracy where they go. Go back to the Amnesty International report. You will find out say Sierra Leone in a very bad situation. Go back to the State Department report. You will find out say they put Sierra Leone they call we a level 2. Then a critical point to say security they not messed up yet, but not concern. You understand? In fact, to the extent that they want people that really come to America, travelers around the world. Because those are the things where people around the world who will invest in Sierra Leone, what they look at? What's in the human rights record? What in they don't do so far? When last Sierra Leone submit report to the United Nations Human Rights Body at Geneva, what in that report they say about human rights situation in the country? Then people they use or get information for who invest. So this thing about human rights, democracy, the rule of law, it gets in connection to development of a country. Where a lot of people don't understand, especially for we case in Sierra Leone, where we get struggle for able for raise money on we own for develop yourself. I think so. That's talk so far. Khadija, I don't talk plenty. One
No,
ministers.
and that is quite okay. That is quite okay. Some of the things the way you touch on, I want also comment on them, which is I want to make reference to one of the things the way many Sierra Leoneans believe say na in the hold Dr. Sylvia Olanka Blyden on, which was the AYV interview where they invite him for he gets a dialogue with the information minister, Honorable Soare, where he give suggestion based on in areas of expertise as to how we go join voice or join hands for combat this deadly pandemic. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, many look and say, hence the reason why they recommend them. Then when you look back again, some of the commercials, the way I played earlier, with some of the disadvantage with females and they go through, we know one of, we other minister, when Mr. J.J. Safa, where he gets an interview with the journalist, where to the point he even insult and say, no go waiting safe in how you call them, waiting at the word we use. It's like for degrade them, where the woman himself come back again, challenge and say, I beg your pardon. So things things
Yeah.
you get me.
Wait till I say ignorant.
Yes. I know why you say what. So
I mean, that's so government practical with this thing.
Some of the unfortunate the stuff that they go through, and then I also been play another thing. I don't mean for laugh, but it just sometimes they will just get for make the best out of certain unfortunate things. Wherein the lady also a strong supporter of the NGC political party, and where it be say after the election, the post-election violence, then give them good bits because they say not a supporter of the current administration. So all that thing and I want to come back in as to what's in our own take on all the unfortunate things there. So if we don't go past that point where and then the 1965 I can always talk on this Public Order Act. How is it that the governments then continue they use this for basically muzzle people them? So come back in, Mr. Massally.
Sure. The 1965 Public Order Act. The act that they will seem to be very elusive in terms of administrations, then repealing what needs to be changed. I remember, but in the interest of fairness, and it's remarked during the campaign on say to repeal the same act here. It didn't 10, 11 years. It never happened. President, the OA administration, they say don't come. They don't care how far, actually. They don't put something in Parliament. However, just the day today or yesterday, whatever, the 90-day lapse, 90-day rule of Parliament saying for touch on this within 90 days of delivery into Parliament, otherwise they kick out. That's not happening now. They don't pull them back from Parliament. Whether it's deliberate, whether not unwittingly, it's out.
Wow.
But I say it is an issue for not just this government, but previous governments. But again, now these governments there, so now we hold accountable now. Me about it, I mean, the past governments we can talk about some of the stuff they did that were good or bad, but they are not in governance, and the people voted for change. So these guys are most responsible today for that 1965 Public Order Act, and the fact they don't come back to Parliament, just sort of speak to what I mean. They said earlier about lip service in more than one area of governance. Yeah, and also I feel the reason why the administration they want able to deal with that today, confront and face to face, then they're afraid of their own shadow there. I think that's what that is. I mean, if governments are afraid of particular law because they know that they're not going to do the right thing, they're not going to work until they're not. But we're not afraid. If they have the president, and they pull out. But what's it be now? It be because if we really is serious about chiseling the rough edges and we governance our countries, and they can't see for the address and resolve them head on. That will show we so serious about governance our country. But me, as a Sierra Leonean, I'm highly disappointed. I don't know if I go Salone for leave. I lived in Sierra Leone for 5 years. I came back. Some people do not believe. Say, hey, Salone Amadu, you come back. The party and they promote me. So yeah, I'm not ready to go back to Sierra Leone. I mean, if I want to retire, because if you see me, the better don't wait. Retirement, age come.
Well, guess what? What do you know? What
I'm
do you?
looking at the Caribbean.
I think later on you go. No. You have to go back home, God willing. But what do you know? Before they come in, where they describe you, I say you the epitome of growing old gracefully. So you wear that gray hair well. Trust and believe that. No, not Diam. Left hand, please. So, having said that, right? The one I want to go back to, say at some point the president declare Sierra Leone a state of emergency where we're gonna get so many rape cases. When you look at that and the post-election violence where people then they get killed, both of them equally important. But if you are declaring state of an emergency in terms of the rape case, then why not people like this woman where the civil society man just make Mr. Wege say, wait, just mention, you cannot talk about rape without talk about Sata Lamin. You cannot talk about rape without talk about so many examples. So how come, from in your point of view, why in I feel say this woman in your case where he alleged several man them, he remember the names them, so on and so forth, why they not bring that for them bring into trial if the country be on the in a state of an emergency because of rape. Come back in, Mr. Massally.
Is that the chief is his against the chief? One chief?
No. This woman, she happened to be, I think, a supporter and a member of the main opposition, where right after the election, multiple man them Repam, I think about total of, yes, that's the one that they refer to.
I think I remember that story there, yeah. Oh, I mean, so that those are protected people, like, I guess. The people who raped this woman, they're protected people. Rape a very serious charge, but for Salone, like normalcy. So yeah, I mean, one thing you say in an instance like that, when government not agree to investigate, because their own people there. Just like how I remember saying that more recently they get one chief in sister with some man and go rape.
Yes.
So more people then come on bush, again, same thing above case. If you look into them deeply, this was in Bond, the home of the president, right? If you look into it deeply, you're going to say also these are protected people. Why up to today, we know, I mean, so I say that it's time to country, like.
Yeah, I know. So now, I want to we go back now to the time of the Ebola, before you come, where we all join Voice and march the streets of New York and all to the way to United Nations. You've been dating physically in a salon, and many people then get their opinion about the Ebola epidemic. Some they blame the then president, some they say, obviously that's the very first time where we get such unfortunate experience, hence the reason why it been very challenging for able for tackle them. In the example of this with this COVID-19 here, with the best places in the world, you talk about USA, you're talking about Europe, Italy, for an example, it's a pandemic where it come from nowhere, where then it been very challenging initially, where we lost many lives around the world. So compare that to the Ebola epidemic, and what's in your experience, because you hold several positions them, from your point of view, how do you think that the then president handled them? From your point of view, or your experience being there as a first-hand witness and a person who hold prestige position. Come back in, sir.
What's your name, prestige position?
Well, you've been assigned compared to you and I am just a Sierra Leonean. Yeah.
During those times when Ebola started in 2014, I remember, I was global coordinator of the Open Government Partnership. which was an office in the office of the president inside OGI, I guess, a relationship with OGI. And then we had left Salon. We don't left Salon for Camp America. I lead a bunch of government people and civil society people as a global coordinator for this open government partnership. When they come now, this Obama in America and Africa trade, whatever it was then.
Okay.
So that was sometime around, I think it was July 2014. Okay. So in fact, one of the meeting that was long, where people they get message, text them, say they don't cancel flights and for go back Salon. We fly to them. This was the time when all those numbers came out on CNN saying 1.4 million is going to die by January because of this in Africa, or in 3 countries there, Salon, Liberia, and Guinea. So we're all worried. But I did not go back to Sierra Leone after meeting this. So I don't get that first-hand experience with Ebola in Sierra Leone. But if you remember, what I did here was walk Capitol Hill.
Yes.
We went to the United Nations, protested, and I led an email drive where we get Sierra Leoneans all over the country, influence of Sierra Leone, this organization women are part of also, we'll get them for to the different representatives there, taking the case for Sierra Leone. And, we did a lot of that, and we were able to probably get some attention to Sierra Leone. I worked closely with a former DCM, or Deputy Ambassador, Salon, American Ambassador, Salon, who went through Congress, Senate, and guess what? All that activity after coming to New York, also meet you, I got invited to go to the White House for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Not as a government official, but as a direct master man. I go to the White House and did all that good stuff.
Yeah. So what was the experience there? Go into it, please. Share with me. We will not be getting the opportunity
from a perspective, From the border perspective, what I do know is that at one time, especially when they get Mayor Akisoya, and the team, I remember. In fact, just recently, she gave a talk that I saw. She talked about her Ebola experience. Okay. She was able to design, but maybe not anyone, but they were able to design a strategy in a contact tracing on Ebola, right? Yes. That became a model for the rest of the world in terms of contact tracing. And it's unfortunate for me to not see her on our national team today. Here's a woman who not only did such a good job, she got an award from the Queen of England for this work on Ebola. Wow. And then we Salon, we get a national issue on COVID-19 with more contact tracing strategy that the mayor has all these skills around and hands-on experience, and she's not on the national team. And then can we see we Salon, first of all, we're not going to read the bite for. We cut we nose, first bite to face. That's how I see this whole issue around the mayor not being on the national team.
Great one, sir. So then it land with a bipartisan approach. I can always say for now we do nation building or for now we get a better mama salon. It's necessary many go attest say or agree that bipartisan approach is a necessity. But at the end of the day, in the case of Major retire Paulo Conte, waiting that bipartisan approach they land them. So waiting that you don't take on that. If you talk about the Ebola epidemic, he happened to be one of the individual we lead. We make from my understanding, we make the international world look and say, find them necessary for them to be part of the team for them to move Salon forward in terms of combating this deadly pandemic. So what's your take on that and how things fall apart where he's now behind bar and held with series of count, which one of it is treason? Come back in, sir. Something happened to do with something got to do with your system, obviously. Mr. Wege said you hear me well, right? Okay. So basically what I been say, I been talk about when you been they mention the mayor as say and you say if I been they part of this team for letting we combat this deadly pandemic. So then I bring in the case of Major retired Paulo, when itself been happening for be the lead for the during the Ebola epidemic. Then I also mentioned say for now we build a better mama salon. We always for use the bipartisan approach. But at the end of the day, when some there from the main opposition therefore join hands with the current administration, we now get the case in the case of one the suggestion of Dr. Sylvia Olanka Blyden, then the effort of Major retire Paulo Conte. So I then ask you, say, what's in your take of that? The bipartisan, and then who's waiting in land where it gets this treason case nine head.
Yeah. But you is it say na me hand I want to take the pool banana for. That's what I was saying.
No, not necessarily. Oh boy.
I'll give you honest opinion.
Yes.
With regard to the bipartisan.
Yes, let's start with that.
With regard to bipartisan, I get mixed feelings about some, because if you look at bipartisan, I mean, yes, you invited Paulo, member of the main opposition, but also the mayor, who's a functioning government employee, as she is right now, is also, a member of, the opposition party. At least last time I checked.
So regarding to that, before you go further, sir, can we agree that the more the merrier? Like in the case wherein then for being gets both of them expertise there for join force with the current administration.
Sure.
Okay.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. As I have a lukewarm feeling towards the partisan thing that you mentioned.
Okay.
Bipartisan.
Yeah.
Because if it was complete and sincere, the mayor would have been on board immediately.
Okay.
Why get Paulo on board and then exclude the mayor?
Right.
All right. In terms of Paulo go help, and one they say care go and they charge her with treason. In my own honest salon man opinion, I think say Paulo make mistake. I don't know how you manage to go inside state or during the circumstance, but putting in charge of treason, may not see him in terms of the evidence before me eye. I make them call me for some judicial and they talk as a Sierra Leonean, and I give you opinion on what I see based on the evidence before my eyes. So those are the two things. Those are the two things you asked, right?
Yes.
I will let for you, Mr. Wari say
yes. Now I'm also. And Mr. Wari say, come in, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I think say Mr. Massally don't say all. For me, the fact say with the guidance discussion there, it help a lot. Provided the government back home they listen, for take some of the advice they already give, Before I can talk about this issue with Paulo, and I touch small about the issue we begin to talk about the PMDC woman and the rape case and the way that they administer it. I can always say that bad law not for meet good leader. Where bad law meets good leader, that law the poor. But if bad law meets bad leader, that law will always the whole water. We talk about the Public Order Act now. Under Tijankaba, they use that somehow. Under Aneskoma, you find out say they begin for change, which is what I'm talking about here. It's time for change. Even though the law been there, and people they talk, putting for talk, but because the leader been somehow good them till and day, you're not going to see when they arrest people they 50 fata. We get them JJ, they go on the radio, they holler fire for fire, they talk about resistance, we get them Tambasam, they go on the radio. For we been in the civil society realm, we've been enjoying discussion and because it's politics. People they get more free for say, as long as they don't take up class, they get more free for say, waiting and free for say. But now because we get good leader, even though the bad law day, and that make you find out say it will change. Sorry, then kind of discussion will happen. But now, let APC politician go to now radio say we go resist this government. The next day you then have Pademba.
Right.
Let APC politician go to my person fire for fire. You understand? Wait for me, I think say that's not wrong for saying we resist the government. We resist the government because if you bring violence against opposition, we will resist any of the attempts. When at that, we think say in the person of a woman, Dr. Blaggy, they can do. Coming to let me drag me to the issue of the Ebola and what will happen. Now Sierra Leone now with the COVID. It's a two different. That's not different scenario. Not different cases. Not the same. And you what to make Corona not go to Sierra Leone? People don't understand. Oh well, we don't they? We are these people at the government side. Oh, we don't they? We not get Corona. Now we are the only country in West Africa we no record cases for blah 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 blah. I said they don't understand. So what to make this no go? That's Salona because Salona gets that kind of business for doing the world anymore. The people that will go to Sierra Leone for go invest now they're very very small. Look at the side of where Ebola affect. Now Africa, now the world, now destination them who say travelers then they go very very frequent. Italy, the tourism. You understand? Go to England because of the openness with tourism. Come to New York. You understand? These are places that we say people them they go for go invest. Ghana, because then country that they get system, they get policy them, we invest in the and go explore. So I said that argument did not sell. I said that because if na then 10 and we will get investor them one for go see Sierra Leone, one go see how the climate open. What they talk about the climate investment in Sierra Leone. Of course, Mr. Massally know about that a lot. We in that particular unit we will give it the international world. You find out say we get frequent travelers them, and that make you find out say we will get strong case for Ebola. And that make you find out say we'll not be able to lock the border themselves. I say, hey, Lord, lock the border to Guinea, Lord, lock the border to Sierra Leone, because if we don't punish you seriously, in a nutshell, business will be run seriously. So if you take nowadays and look at the political mix when it comes to the Ebola, I remember very well say during an term Ebola, we did set up the political party association on Ebola. We're able to go around the country, educate and sensitize people. This now platform we say all political parties do. All political parties. You understand?
Yeah.
We will not see that approach there now. Boldly, the only person where decides say, okay, this president don't call me. I go listen to him call. Whether I'm an international community influence him, not to international community influence him. At the beginning, I been give President Malabio the kudos. I say, okay, I think say this is one part the first move them we don't make for create that kind bipartisan approach to development. For me, not knowing say I've been trapped. Palo, no law, no day. No law, no day. I don't point them again. No law, no day in Sierra Leone. We say, you know, for Kengo gun a state house on a parliament. No law, no day. Law day in Sierra Leone, we say you register the gun and declare them, now certain place them where you reach there. Just like American animals. Because part of that law where they make in 2012, the Arms and Ammunition Act, part of them come out to how did they deal with gun in America. If I go to White House, mean I want to say, I get a registered gun, when I reach my gate, I'm supposed to hand them over to the police. Say, una look this gun, una hold up for me. In fact, some point then they ask you, where you reach now, there's State Department, then public building in America, and they ask you, Mr. Massally, know that one day. You get weapon, and say declare. Why do you not apply the same thing? For me, the whole thing it's just funny. You know, this person that you guessed, if you not invite Paulo on a state house, no reason only for them to go to state house. So the fact that you fight time, you don't go to state house, don't agree with Mr. Massally, say make mistake. Now you place was say, no, when I left that stage, I may go. I'm a stranger, I may invite him. He can't go, as long as you not count for can't harm me. But this is just simple honesty, now basic honesty then. Where a leader for him for rise above. Say no, when I don't know about him, I may invite him. You understand? This time he guess, not like me host there. Somebody come, he can't broke me cup. I will say, oh, because then this person not arbitrary. People that will look at me small, they will look at me funny, say, because the argument to them get each other, I make where can I also broke up. If I not invite that person in a place, he not get no business. Part of it, he gets anything for doing status before President Mother Bill invite them. No. But he go there, he gets him gone because he, according to the evidence, he not there with him driver, so he not left the gun inside the motorcar because everybody in a state house, one for watch the motorcar. And like the most simple, who don't want a state house, who don't want to say that what they get master key. What if they want to take that gun inside the motorcar, Paulo left and they go take them and look and cause harm. So what if Paulo sensibly do, say, this gun, instead of a left hand inside the motorcar way will pose more danger, now we left hand security forces navigate. So for we don't say what the follow Mr. President, tell the people that if you don't charge this man for treason, make it simple. As long as his scanner been work, that means the cameras them in the road. As long as the scanner been work, that means the camera been roll. From the human rights perspective, we don't say, show we this evidence, say this man can he deliberately want for pass with him gun for go up. You know, that one day out. So for me, this now all the basic thing about sincerity. This now all the reason we make you go to them organization then get serious fear since Sierra Leone, a place we know 100% safe. I think Khadija, I got from left because I got some program where they come up where I got for one attend to.
Wonderful.
I'm very, very sorry.
You don't do well.
Yes.
You don't do well. So to let you go, me and Mr. Massally go continue. Yes, sir.
But this for me, this is a fundamental thing that we a leader for able to rise above. Then petty funny thing there. If they bring, if they raise up something where it will lead to something we not go find for the country generally, you know, because you're not going for daily forever, Mr. President. Somebody go for candy. What if they can't hold you wealth? Put on a side and put silver right now, say because they go talk na social media. You know, be locked up for no reason because you understand. So that basic thing for bottom man, you for understand. Forget about the fact say you get political rival. This is not the basic thing that we understand as leaders. What they call Mr. Massally will say I'm correct. Magnanimity. You go for the
right.
No, for leading. You know, if you
but I want to say one thing before you go.
Yeah? I
want to say one thing before you go. But you don't say that the first day when Paulo gets into the assembly to the rubbish day, he go home. They let go home. Now after that, man, yes, man begin poison. Then man, I don't them all like they want to kill you. So that's what caused everything to talk about. President Bio, as he left, I mean, Paulo was interviewed and he was released to go home. The next day they call him back after them, but that one they don't talk, whatever they have to talk. But anyway,
but that's very significant for the case. That one is very
that's what I brought it up. Yeah.
If somebody commit treason, they left him, they go, na host, they invite him back, he come again. Trust me, that alone. Now a simple case for say this person not get anything for high.
Yeah.
It's a basic thing.
But the defense, they don't submit and stuff and they submit for no case.
Yeah, I don't see that one. Yeah, I don't see that one.
Well stated. So now let's go. Then me and you they continue the conversation, sir. Mr. Wege say thank you so much.
Talk to you again. Because you have problem.
Oh man, Mr. Massally, come back in. So yeah, finish your thoughts on that, on Mr. Palonyon. And then I want to ask you a few things on some of the position and where you been hold and what you been do in them different position and they. So come back in with the thoughts where you been the land having to do with.
I've been done. I've been just talking about the for Mr. Orisi saying the like I say president invites him. The president invites this man come. So they don't release him. They say okay, the man they go on whatever and then the interviewer he went home. So part of the one for good reason now that moment it can be me. Put that long go home so plan is again tomorrow. Now if I get reason in time whatever. But anyway, no go to the other question. These two are too hot for me.
Okay, so apart from the position where you've been just to talk about where you've been hold now the president in office, you've been all other several one. which help me with that one. I don't know if not the
in government, first of all, I began to work with government in 2010, I think.
Yes.
2009, late November, December 2009. I worked at the Ministry of Mineral Resources for Alpha Canoe. I was a special advisor to the minister. I will get a special unit and create and number of the MCC have been work on. MCC trying to get us ready for the MCC more than anything else. But I also did it. I mean, meet some people that did. But I mean, I was just working as a technocrat.
Okay.
I later on, I think 2 years later, in 2012, I began to join the party APC. I even campaigned in 2012 on the radio, go up and down the country because I believe after the first 5 years of President Nkrumah, in my opinion, he had done some remarkable stuff. So, and then in that same year, the MCC results and come out. I've been following the MCC since 2006. In fact, I feel chiefly responsible that we have such a program in our country today, the MCC, because I work carefully. Now,
so
the MCC, I worked for them.
Yeah, go ahead. What's in the abbreviation mean, the MCC, for the one that we know?
Medium Challenge Corporation.
Okay.
This is the institution where they give money, hundreds of millions of dollars, if we meet certain requirements. So I mean, they say, when I joined the ABC party in 2012, shortly after that, they had passed 12 indicators and they were invited into threshold grants where they give up to $200, $300, $400 million. They hired about almost $700 million into Tanzania, I think. So the MCC, the results were government produced from 2011 to 2012, from passing 7 indicators to passing 12, we got invited into the big grants, then called what's that name? Impact, Compact Award. So they have 2 grants, one at the small one, one at threshold, and then one at big one, one at compact. So threshold maybe 20, 30, we get about 40 million, 44 million for threshold where the MCC give you free money. Well, yeah, you don't meet certain indicators. But we were going for a $200 to $300 grant, million dollar grant after we passed the 12. Unfortunately, the following year, something happened. We not passed the control of corruption indicator. So the MCC kind of suspended in 2013, I think it was. So while that was going on, I left the MCC for which was open government partnership. And I had to talk about recently, I started working with civil society and government.
Right.
So civil society won't begin working with them first. They not be left in business, but after a while they get to know say, me and the kind of person, me and civil society kind of person more.
Yeah.
So even I'm not regret to have joined the APC party. I'm no longer involved in partisan politics. Since 2014, 15, not me as a alone, but TD battles have been there. And they support my country. I mean, government can't really do well for Salon, and they support them. If government can't really do well for Salon, we they criticize, we oppose. It will only 2 ways, because I don't have that strength like a Steve Biden. But in only 2 ways, I can Japan.
Yes. So basically, why you feel say there was some challenges then? Is it because of your personality being the bold, upfront and direct person that you are?
Challenges with me?
Right. Where you be say something.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think so. I mean, first of all, my grandpa na Wuri. Amadu Wuri, my grandpa was running after Amadu Wuri. And I found the member of SFPP. So even the APC, I mean, when I was there, they didn't feel comfortable with a guy like me because,
okay.
I mean,
okay.
I put him on, I started with this at least. So I was aware of that. When we go do work for the country, and the people, the more and the think was something of people of Salon.
Right.
So I managed to survive APC in partisan politics somewhat. I never used to go to the headquarters because I'm not a party guy. We are more technocrats within the party. But so I did that for 2 or 3 years, and then now I'm back to just civil society activism. and holding government accountable in any way I can, because just like what we said this earlier, we are retrogressing. The new direction is not taking us forward. As of right now, 2.5 years into governance. Let me give you a couple of examples why I feel that way strongly. In January 2020, President Bill reprimand and cabinet say they don't deliver in 2 years. So this 2020 will be the year of delivery. 2020. From January to now, or in June now, what do you think government has done to make this a year of delivery? They ask you, they ask question, you say they ask you now.
So
what do you think government don't do between January and now?
If I can answer, if I can answer sincerely, I believe say the energy and the effort is being put in the wrong place. What I mean by that is that before, instead of the energy is used for build a great bipartisan relationship, wherein that then for understand say constructive criticism or the criticism of the main opposition is should be designed for help them for them reach that goal. That goal is to fulfill whatever promises that they have made to the Sierra Leone people, wherein they talk about the new direction. And if we talk about new direction, like it don't become redundant in this platform. When you say new direction, it's because you have learned from the mistake or whatever you consider as a mistake from the then administration. You pick up the pieces and become better. You understand? So, and the other like I said, the energy is so wrong to the point that wherein if you feel that for intimidate or for just they go against people that will maybe gets the interest of the country, not necessarily their political party, they're ready for speak out the call the fact. And the obvious evidence is there. There's things where we not even need for labor on. You know, every day on this, as social media is so powerful, you go every kind of saga. If then either sometimes police don't go buckle this today, they don't beat them. Either they want they don't come on and Kuwait, they don't put them, then go put them some side. So you know, the obvious is there. The authentic evidence is there. So, having said that, if that energy is being used for say, okay, now we draw the one there, so we're all Sierra Leoneans, that we all get the same interest, and the interest is that make we develop a country so that way we go come out in different parts of the world. For now we go enjoy, we land freedom, justice for all, not for only selected few. You understand? So if that effort and that energy is being placed in that way, that positive way, you not come with revenge or grudge. You say, okay, whatever has been done cannot be undone. Cannot be undone. We'll go forgive, we go move forward. If we don't make the mistake, forget political prisoners them, like I would say in the case of Miss Sylvia Olanka Blyden or Mr. Palo, we say, okay, now we look at the intention. Islam say, God they bless you if you want to do boku things that you don't get them, but the intention who you get, it don't bless you already. So when we look at Mr. Palo, we know say the intention for net go, now for join hands, for net we come back this deadly disease. So if it make the mistake, as some will call it, for say, okay, in the look and say, okay, now my regular weapon way I can keep na my car, but in this case, I don't want left and they for the wrong people then puts their hands in it, you understand? So but it still do the right thing, say now declare them before I proceed to the meeting room. You understand? So right there, you don't look at the intention, and if you not get anything in the dark, like how the Mr. Wege say, okay, open the camera. If it gets any intention other than that, make it and see the CC camera, CCTV camera. Then people then determine, say, indeed the intention was not waiting me to say or waiting other Sierra Leonean things say, nah, out of good faith. You understand? So having said that, if the energy is used in a right play, in a positive and sincere way, and followed match the manifesto, I believe say by now, where that then president don't left, the improvements we don't make or the progress we don't make, you understand me, it could for be more blessing for the current administration and make it much easier. It gets a guide when a big, I would say a big brother when the president, you understand. I think you mistake press your mute button. Now see if I can unmute you. Okay, so touch the red line, Mr. Massally. Okay, I think you're good now. You understand? So having said that, if but we don't use that approach there. I believe say if we bring about better mama salon I mean on for answer your question where you throw at me. Come back in, sir.
Sure. You can go all the way back to that part of the case.
No, I just use some of the example then for land to you question.
Yeah. You know, I think say after that meeting where President Bill gets with the cabinet and other heads of state, whatever parastatals, in January, it like was say they also came to a conclusion at that meeting that the opposition is making the country ungovernable for them. Because after that meeting, shortly after that, now we see Boku 15 movies in the play. And
it's a movie.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them. In my opinion, because I'm an analyst, I look at stuff, I mean, in terms of what they have accomplished from 2005. If you look at the election, for example, in the last election, because we did the election also, we covered it. Yeah. In fact, we get a website now, we get all election results for 4 cycles, all the way down, so we covered the elections. The votes, second round, final votes, President Bill get 51.48%, and Samura Kamara with the APC get 48%. No, it's 48%. Now, if you look at that, okay, so APC can get a 48% from the last time we voted for them. President Bill can get 51%, but I can guarantee you, say, as of today, some of that 51%, you some people will be put SLP because they don't tell APC, they don't go vote for President Bill as of right now. I can almost guarantee that. So that number, they don't sway. I don't know the percentage when they are, but they don't sway. So, I mean, the point I'm trying to make, this government has to do a whole lot more between now and 2023. I think elections are going to be held in 2024 because they're going to try to extend it. That's why they have this 1 year state of emergency, which is also illegal. State of emergency for 1 year is unconstitutional.
Correct.
But I thought the government will use them for anyway. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yes.
The elections, the 48% versus 51%, the room is small. Not only that, even among SLP today, I got a lot of friends that are SLP people that are not happy with what's going on with the SLPP party as a whole. In fact, they will say there's a power faction.
Yes, yes.
So, I mean,
yes.
I don't know what they want to vote for other party other than SLPP people. Let's say
I think there's a major division, like how you say, some they refer to the political party being divided, where some refer to it as the PAUPA, and then some will refer to it as the SLPP. Having said that, when they take a commercial, I think say Mr. Massally, they get small issue, then we will come right back. And thank you.
This is the coronavirus patients held in the top. Then can say they insist on the results. And the picking at the tower so now, it's all in the tower so now, the student how they go no side. We see no more now. The time for tackling some questions then at the tower for the open. So now the situation, the coronavirus patient they don't want to see.
Okay, now welcome back again to Salon for All Voice for All Network Television. The way to be just watching a commercial of the sister then within a Lebanon where they don't promise say they will bring them back home, but now then get for come no say now only 15 people then go able for cater to. Having said that, now we land back. Welcome back, Mr. Massally. And also if you talk about the election part, so go ahead and land to you a statement, sir.
Sure. Yes, I mean, it's right for say, as of right now, if we are going to elections today, I think the SL people will have a hard time with President Bio for winning second term because of the dynamics on the ground. I mean, they talk about the 48% for the last elections. APC opposition get 48%, President Bio 51%. You would think a 3% difference. No, it's a 1.84% because if you bring President Bio to 50%, about 1.8 something, and then for bring that up back to 50%. So it's not necessarily 3%. It's about 1% difference, 1.5%. So yeah, but this government still gets opportunity for change the the perspective that Sierra Leoneans have today of them. Now I don't live in country, but I am constantly in touch via many WhatsApp fora, via private conversations with people on the ground, and I don't see the ground dry. And you will know for now.
Yeah.
It's right, bing, bing, as like you say.
So unfortunately, the other thing where I think so the touch is that, and when myself make comment on, you go Yari say some of the I guess the grassroots SLPP them then divided where they say some they say this not the pauper, this not the SLPP. I don't know if you want to come back in that with that one.
Well, I mean, I said within the party, some people they say there's a powerful faction, and some SLPP members, that are not too pleased with what's going on within the BO administration. So that's the point I was trying to make. Of course, SLPP people don't want it, but I talk to people that are SLPP. We're family, founding members of SLPP. Yeah. On the Wuri side and the Massally side, yeah. So if the SLPP number, we know to JC inside SLPP business. Even though I never joined any party other than the APC party, as I expressed earlier, from 2012, about 2-3 years of that. Yeah. But the government, I mean, they still have a chance. For example, if President Bill can just come and forget what all the political prisoner business here, so say pardon them, for example, and then can bring some kind of coming together. I mean, look at the Peace Commission. Peace Commission, when they say they launch a Peace Commission, come on, blah, blah, before the Peace Commission, the opposition party, the main opposition party who have been at the table at the Peace Commission was not even there.
Yeah.
You know, and then since that time, they what would everybody the Peace Commission? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's gone back to the boonies where it came from. So, and these are these kinds of things that we need to be able to we need to drive results or at least complete initiatives.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely. So when you talk about leadership, and you happen to work with President Koma, how would you describe him for we not ever get the opportunity for work with him? How you would describe him as a leader or as an individual?
I can't tell you. There were people that work close with President Nkrumah that may tell you that better. Yeah. President Nkrumah was married to my cousin, Sia Nkrumah. I grew up in Sia's home. We grew up in each other's homes growing up, yeah?
Oh, wow.
In brother Didi Nkrumah, I'm his best buddy with the end, you know. So, but I don't know Ernest Nkrumah. For example, when he married my cousin, I don't believe in this salon and again. So I didn't know him. In fact, President Nkrumah did not know that I was his wife's cousin. Even when I sat with him and talked, you know, he don't say Amadu Massally, but they did not put two and two together. I have never approached him. First of all, I don't even spend too much. I didn't spend that much time with President Nkrumah because I'm the father and go blind. You know, I'm not a party guy in that way. I have a lot of respect for him because he had to go through a lot himself. Any president has alone. Not an easy job. Same for President Bill. I should say they go through a lot of stuff now because. Elephant is not too picky.
Yes. Absolutely.
So I can't really tell you much about President Nkrumah. I know him somewhat from the family side, and even that is from just hearing people talk about him. He never knew me until I met him. I think it was in 2010. Even though he had been married to my sister, my cousin, for 20 odd years. Yeah. But he seems like a very quiet man. He's a left-handed guy. You know, many presidents are left-handed. I understand that. What else? And a fine boy.
So now we'll land back to it today topic before we left. What thing will be your advice, or what thing you will bring as a solution or advice to the sitting government when it comes to women empowerment, or the things that we don't go through as women? When you look about the Kula Samba saga, where then we understand say be even pregnant, where then kill them. In the case of the journalist in a stadium, where then beats them, just to name few. In the case of Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden, in the case of even the mayor, where if they don't get 2-3 kick one box, will be receiving hand like a form of a cast. Unfortunately, you know, if some form of intimidation on your part, in your experience. And we also see a video where it also been the cry for the public, the attention in this case that where it be make one or two things and go back again and work against them, those type of things, the challenges them where women in the face as a whole. And so what think will be your advice to making salon better in terms of the woman them?
You know, I don't get a specific plan for women in per se. I know that they are underserved, underserviced, and people, we don't treat them as equals. Men don't. In a lot of African countries, the children, but they really don't know more. But I think overall, before I get to the woman, let me give you a broad picture of what I think, and then we'll first set woman in position fit inside it. There are generally 3 arms in any country, any development, any nation. 3 arms, yeah? Not 3 arms of government, but 3 arms of society. You get government, you get the private sector, you get civil society. Yeah? Those 3 triumvirates, that's how I refer to them, the triumvirates, the balance of power has to be more equitable. What do I mean by that? If I put percentages for now, I will tell you, say maybe government gets 70% of the power within this structure. Maybe civil society and private sector get 15% each. But we get for Sidon, this is just not for Salon, these are the prescription for developing countries. We have to sit down and negotiate between civil society, the private sector, and government, and get some common understanding of who side we limit them for tap. A real dialogue between government, civil society, and the private sector in our countries. Now, in civil society, within that space, there is a space for women. In private sector also, there is a space for women. In government, there is a space for women. But if you look at the space where all three then side they also afford women them, now small space them as compared to men. So how do you fix all of that? I don't know. Maybe we should go back to another national, dialogue on these issues, and perhaps formulate some strong. See, the thing with me, if people go to the table, we'll get solution, and we'll formulate, we'll put them down. Will they be implemented? I don't know. But it is best to have the plans in place and not implemented than not to have any plans at all.
Absolutely.
So, to me, that's where the solution lies. For this government, for any African government, we need for Sudan and talk honestly between civil society, the private sector, and government.
So if God give you the opportunity, maybe you not get the intention, just hypothetical question, you happen today to be the president of Sierra Leone, what think will be your first start, or what say you go one start first for improve, and then when it comes to woman issue, what you go do for the woman them?
Another good answer for you, because I don't think you can ask me question like that. But
fair enough.
I mean, that's just being honest.
Yes, left hand like that then. Then I will get you another time on that one. I think that's fair enough. Yes, that's fair enough. So, having said that, I need to hold you any longer. I don't hold you too much. We have so much to do. And I want you to take this opportunity for basically send a message or two to the youth. I can always say the youth then are the future of tomorrow. So anyway, we can at this platform, I can liken it and send a message to the youth in Sierra Leone as a whole. Yes.
Yeah. I think, say, for the youth, first of all, I'm very big on the youth. Me na youth. I get youth money at all. Yes,
I like that. Yes. Go ahead.
But I think the youth, one thing I facing against for do, they have to ask for what they want themselves. And I'm going to make a statement, not to incite, Papa God don't see me no for getting incitement, but they have to do peaceful demonstrations to make their points known. The youth, I cannot give them better advice than these two things. They have to ask for what they want, and they must hold peaceful demonstrations in terms of making, for example, in Copic University, they get an issue not so long ago.
Yes.
And they had some peaceful demonstrations. They ended up arresting the civil society guy who did them. Yes. One of the favorite civil society men, for that matter, Thomas Mokonte.
Yes.
He was arrested. But these are the kinds of things that the youth need to do to let their voices be known. Yeah. Protest not necessarily means a bad thing, not necessarily means it will be a bad thing.
So, Mr. Massally, you mentioned a man where we all feel the same about, where you said on camera this platform multiple times. That in an example of somebody who stand for the truth and think that, make a stand with the young man they are, so for not able to get something where go be beneficial to them, which not the education. At the end of the day, yes, we all believe in peaceful demonstration in the place like the United States of America, the example of we going to United Nations, which not the very first time, the everlasting impact way, pleasant impact I get of you for the rest of my life. where we use we voice for cry for we fellow Sierra Leoneans them at that time of the Ebola. So in the place of United States of America, then they give them the opportunity for them to exercise that right. But in the place of Sierra Leone, in the example of Mr. Thomas More Conte, where he gets all necessary permits, then it was okay. At the end of the day, he was still arrested. So not saying that maybe then you'd say the suggestion is great and in place, but in a country where they allow them for them to get a peaceful, healthy demonstration. But yet, when you see, like I say, it can be selective justice. Where they see in the provinces, maybe Kailan or Kenema or whatever, then they still protest, but then they do anything. So you understand. Okay. So, but in the capital city, when a free town, if they dare to do anything when a peaceful demonstration, of course, then they after them, whether it's live bullets, whether we don't see them cases, then they or tear gas or drag them, manhandle them, or put them back behind bar. So, what do you think about that? How can they go about forget a peaceful demonstration when they are not allowed or they're limited to do so?
Well, yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough.
But they must do it. They must do it. That's the only, I mean, for me, then, I don't see any other way because they don't like that for the youth man. They say, Emma, she go tell you, say, hey, all over you with TikTok, the same just to go. Yeah. So, I mean, what else can they do? Yeah. For decades, the youth have been marginalized. Yeah. And then they not get better sense. We see them show, well, not to the all. Because youth man, they come in different categories. Yeah. It's not just one, monolithic type of grouping of youths. Yeah. They come in different categories. Just today, I see back again, some youth man, they write a letter to government about some car wash entrepreneurial system where government, they try to get them involved in. Ask questions, serious bar. Now, youth man, they won't steal in this no more. Car wash, that I don't. Yeah. What about the other things that they can get into? What about vocational school? Those are not for land book. But other skills and they where people them for look at we water system, pump lane, pipe lane. There's a whole industry you can form around that. We don't have many people that are alone where they do pump and pipe, effectively. Get some vocational schools going for these guys and put them to work.
So in the case like now, the joy, everybody they happy. Oh, we don't get this money from IMF. If it's a great opportunity this for to use that fund day for make some type of job or like how you say vocational school for them people they are so or traded jobs or whatever you want to call them. Then in the case of them people they are so we don't suffer na Kuwait, na Lebanon, where then they ready for go back home. How the government go able for help them, the sister them, then they not just limit themselves to maybe going outside of the norm where maybe they go on a street, sell themselves. Unfortunately, we don't hear them kiss them day. So what will be your suggestion too in that area?
I don't know. I mean, as a government, you get a social contract with your citizens then. So this government will try by all means.
As not be for Lafo. You know what's the way you say that? I call with ACC boss the Redison man. Where you say you get social contracts where right you for basically stand up for the right thing. But now when they're in that position, now then the Muslim people say they're not for talk.
Yeah. you talk about Kefala.
Yes. The wonderful.
I used to run. We have a WhatsApp forum where we have ministers of government, we have the mayor there, we have Kefala there, we have Madam Stat Sierra Leone and Stat Jen. So we have government, we have mayor, the ambassador Brewer there on this WhatsApp forum. So we talk there. And we hold people accountable there. Ben, it's a that in that forum there.
Hey, yeah.
But I see the video just now while we watch you, when you wear the black one in the top box.
Yeah.
Yes. Not saying no more. But Ben, of course, he now works for government. It's either he can openly criticize government, but he's not going to last in his position.
Yeah.
And then the other one then. There are many civil society actors that used to be civil society when the APC was in governance. Yeah. That have now become partisans. So there's a vacuum in civil society. Yes. Because all the good top civil society man they will be natural. They all they don't buy them or they don't sell them.
It's sad. So like I
some of them were just SLPP guys doing civil society. Yeah. So now that they're in governance, it's time to give it up.
Yeah.
We need to develop a new breed of civil society actors in Sierra Leone. New, younger, and more versatile, more daring. Guys like Thomas Mokonte.
Yes.
They should be encouraged.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I agree. So like, even though I they laugh about it, I call him the Renaissance man. But when you look back, you look deep into it. It's not much you can really do, given the obvious of how we political landscape is. Like you say, if even you want to speak on it, it go in life go there in jeopardy, or maybe it will be in trouble. So it's rather unfortunate. So we hope that hopefully all this will change for a better Mama Salon. I don't know what you think on that area.
Yes, we never forget hope. That's the only thing we cannot lose. Hope. That is why I still have hope that between now and 2.5 years from now, before we go to the next elections, these governments will don't do well. Because as much as I criticize them, I want them to shut me up or to shut up the critics, because I know when they shut us critics up, my people have enjoyed something. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If government's able to shut up all the critics, see the light of Sierra Leone, they don't better.
Absolutely.
That's what we really want. That's what we really want. As a patriotic Sierra Leonean, I want to see my country prosper. So, as much as I don't criticize, I will continue to criticize this government. Now we get social media, I give you so much power, yeah? I still want to see them do it. I want to be able to praise them. Look, if I was really critical about this government, or I get bad for government, why would I, for the first time in the history of the country, a group of Sierra Leoneans take over 50 African Americans in Go Salon in December?
Yeah.
Not only that, I've also worked as a consultant for these governments. We started the open data revolution because I have, competencies around this stuff, and we started doing something before this government came in. I was doing something with the other governments around open data. And when this government came into power, I got a contract from them as a consultant. I went to Sierra Leone for a few months and did some work around open data. So APC man, and they wouldn't know what to do. I just got to get SLPP man. It's all with this APC government. I get SLPP man, and when they say, me, I don't go work for APC government. I don't care what you give me. So the same way you get people in the back at APC who would say, no, go work for SLPP government, and so on and so forth.
So, but it's scary, like in the example of what happened to retired Major Paulo, if you say maybe the one that we go and do that thing, go afraid now for go in and do work sincerely with the, with that bipartisan approach. If you say then go afraid.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Me says some of the things I say sometimes, I'm afraid for go free to. I know they arrest me.
Oh.
I do. I'm afraid of that. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be going to Freetown until maybe get a change of government. That's how I feel as I sit here, because I've said I've been holding guys accountable in my own little way.
Oh God.
And
but how can they understand? How can they understand the person that you are? Even like your own political party, you do hold them accountable. You understand? So how can they understand that you're just a patriotic Sierra Leonean, where even in the example of that of Dr. Sylvia Olanka Blyden, where it will also challenge your own political party members them on things them if it not go right? How can they understand that? How we go able to get to that point where we for understand, say, we for able to speak on the truth without we not be looked as, say, we're anti-government or whatever the case may be?
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know how, but I'm just telling you what I feel, because I know I talk and I know I hold government accountable. I'm on social media, I'm on WhatsApp a lot, and I spread audios, videos about bad things happening in my country, and sometimes I make comments. I go to sleep. I sleep well every night because I know I've done what I can in the best interest of my long-suffering people.
Yeah.
Yes?
I respect you always, Mr. Massally. So take this opportunity for say you 1 or 2 words before we go, and if you want to say something to Sierra Leoneans, words of encouragement, whatever it is, the floor is yours, sir.
Yes. I got one song I want to sing, a short song. It goes like this. One day we two go turn to fool. God don't design we papo. We have it go on the show. And the entire world go know. say we na bobo pain and it's steering them.
Indeed.
And the world go know.
Indeed, indeed. Well stated, well stated. With that said, I want to take the opportunity for tell you plenty thank you, as always, for where you take this opportunity for honor the invitation. Thank you so much, Mr. Massally. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. It was fun. I'd like to come back and have some discussions with you.
This is home for you. We have a lot to do behind closed door. Thank you again. Having said that, until next time, this is Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. I take this opportunity for telling her plenty thank you when I take time out of your busy schedule for partake in today's and no members say we woman like how the fellow then say now we get for embrace with self and fight for with self and for now we'll bring about a better Mama Salon. Until next time again, this is Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. Good morning, good night, bye.